Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Last week, we had our triennial bullseye event. We hold a bullseye event in the winter, the spring, and in the fall. And it was just fantastic, fantastic. Something happened there, though, that was a contrast to what we had experienced or what I've experienced in previous situations. You know, if I said the Nordstrom Way, what would you think of? You would probably think of a company that's very customer-centric, a company that empowers their employees to be able to make decisions on the spot regarding returns. They believe that the employee comes first. Everything that they do focuses on empowering the employee. By empowering the employee, they believe that the employee then will always do what's in the best interest of the customer. Interesting. So recently, this event at the W, we had there were wonderful people that we dealt with. Contractually, they were difficult to deal with. However, we had a great concierge or banquet manager. His name was Matt. He bent over backwards to help us any way that he could. But it came down to a simple issue where he may had the opportunity to really kind of help us, or he had the opportunity to lose us, probably as a client. And it was out of his power. It was out of his control. You see, because a few people, now think about this, we had over 40 people there for 3 days having breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. I think we're a good client. That'd be a good customer, I think. And they came to us the first night and said, we've got a little bit of a challenge here. And what's that? And they said, well, a few of the people have asked if they can have a Diet Coke. Okay. Well, since it's not on the menu, we have to charge them $5.50 for the Coke, the Diet Coke. Really? Could we come up with a different idea on this? Let's take into consideration how much money we're spending, and would you be willing to just, and they said, oh, I can't do that. It's beyond my power to make that decision. I felt sorry for Matt. Yeah, I could see it in his eyes. And I said, Matt, really, come on, you can do something. That wasn't me saying this, by the way, it was Lori, but I'm taking a little bit of license here. She says, you could do something. And he says, well, I have to talk to my manager. And the manager happened to be right there. He walks up. What's the problem? The problem was explained to him, and he says, I'm very sorry, but that is our policy. If it's not on the menu, then you have to pay for it. Or they could go down to the bar, and they could buy it down there and bring it up. Wow. You know, I use the Sheraton O'Hare in Chicago. I go there every month. I've gone there every month for 20 years. And the reason that I use that, and think about how many people I refer into that. Hundreds, literally. What caused me to go there? It was a manager. I couldn't stay there because it was so crowded because of a convention. I had to stay miles away. And I just started going there. This is before I started attending I went to several different hotels. And so I started to leave, and there was no cabs. I went over to hopefully get on the shuttle to the airplane, but the shuttle was full, and it was headed for the convention center. The night manager, not the guy that was just the guy that was the night manager, came over and said to me, he said, can I help you? I said, well, yeah. He said, do you need a cab to get to the airport? And I said, I sure do. He says, I'll call you one. I said, well, thank you. I'm not even staying here. And he says, you need to get to the airport, don't you? I said, yes. He said, let me call you a cab. So he calls me a cab. Now guess what he does after I get in the cab? $14 he takes, and he hands it to the cab driver and says, this should cover him getting to the airport. Now, I don't know where he got the $14. I certainly don't believe that was policy. I believe that he has the Sheraton Way, just like the Nordstrom Way in that moment. Completely different than the W Way from the Austin. But for that $14, what an investment that's paying him dividends galore. You know, by empowering each other, we tend to put too many restrictions. We take away our ability to decide and make decisions for ourselves. We disempower so many people, employees around us. And guess what? We do the same with our children. We look for ways that we can tell them what to do. We watch over them. Let's look for ways that we can empower our children. Let's look for ways that we can empower our teammates. Let's look for ways that we can empower all of those that we get an opportunity to work with. Let's work together to make ourselves become better decision makers and better leaders. Warren Buffett said that's one of the reasons that he's been so successful is because he's a great cheerleader. He cheers other people to become even better leaders. Well, you have to give them authority to do that. That's on my mind right now. I hope it's helpful to you. Have a meaningful week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.